Opening scene, 006-2 allows immediate gut punch. The betrayal isn't loud, but cold and surgical, which makes it all the more brutal. Carson's dismissal is pitch-perfect villainy, smug, dismissive, and underestimating the protagonist. Harper's silence says more than words could. That subtle absence of emotion is devastating. Foundation metaphor. 3 hours, 5:30. This metaphor is gold. The idea that while they played at power, the protagonist quietly acquired the ground beneath the empire. You've woven business savvy with emotional stakes masterfully. It's not just revenge, it's righteous reclamation. Confrontation with Harper, 11 na, 17 dao. This is one of the strongest scenes in the whole story. The emotional tension, the physical beats, she didn't deserve the comfort, and the balance of pain and poise, it's all incredibly well done. The shift in dynamic is palpable. Rowan is no longer trying to win her back. He's reclaiming himself. Crumbling empire, 18 mouse 23 OR. The fallout is written with a realistic corporate chaos, loss of quality, mismanagement, morale breakdown. It's satisfying without being cartoonish. The slow unraveling builds tension and stakes. Twist, Haven Light Discovery, 25 Rs, 27 bars. This reveal is devastatingly effective, not just betrayal, but premeditated. The mirroring of Rowan's original ideas and Harper's sleek theft of them is quietly infuriating, and it makes her colder than Carson in a way. Strategic setup, 27 quos, end. You've created a protagonist who doesn't need to shout. His power comes through patience, vision, and a slow, deliberate checkmate. The structure and pacing of the revenge plot are perfectly laid. Potential suggestions, only if you're refining or expanding. 1. Internal beats. Add a touch more introspection at key beats. What did Rowan lose emotionally when he lost the company and Harper? We feel it, but a few more reflective pauses would add depth to the stoicism. 2. Carson's dimension. Carson is a classic egotistical antagonist. Consider giving him one small moment of unexpected competence or a minor win to prevent him from being one note. That could elevate the stakes when Rowan eventually takes him down. 3. Haven Light's symbolism. You could dig deeper into what the name Haven Light means to Harper. It feels loaded with irony, and revealing why she chose it might add a chilling undercurrent. 4. Flashback potential. Consider inserting a few brief flashbacks. Maybe a moment from the hotel opening, a scene of intimacy between Rowan and Harper when they were still aligned, or a memory of August at his prime. This would ground the emotional impact of the betrayal more deeply. In summary, this story is smart without being dry, emotional without being melodramatic, corporate without losing its human soul. If this were a novel, a limited series, or even a prestige drama script, it would grip people. You've built a strategic revenge arc that is rooted in character, driven by betrayal, and executed with precision. 28-37 pieces, fine. I'd sell those pieces to someone with deeper pockets, and I'd stay on his landlord narrative pacing and flow. The story maintains tension effectively across multiple scenes, blending corporate maneuvering with emotional reckoning. The pacing feels deliberate, not rushed, but constantly moving forward. Characterization. Rowan is richly drawn. His motivations are clear, his restraint is powerful, and his moments of vulnerability, especially with the message from Lexi and the call from August, give him emotional depth. Dialogue. The dialogue is sharp and professional, reflecting power dynamics well. Alaric's lines, in particular, are effective, cool, efficient, and insightful. Thematic depth. The themes of control, legacy, loyalty, and moral consequence are deftly handled. This is not just a tale of revenge, but one of rebuilding, both professionally and personally. Potential next steps. If you're looking to expand or revise, structure as a novel. This reads like the climax or latter third of a corporate thriller. You could easily build a 3-act structure around it. Act 1, Rowan's firing, early clues of betrayal, and laying low. Act 2, discovery of Havenlight, strategic repositioning, alliance with Alaric. Act 3, the text above. The strike, the fallout, the resolution. Tone down or deepen. Subplots. Consider exploring Rowan's relationships with Lexi, Miguel, or even August more directly. Those emotional touchpoints could ground the corporate drama in more personal stakes. Name consistency. Be mindful of name formatting. Delroy versus Delacroix occurs inconsistently. Possibly Delacroix is correct throughout. Ending possibilities. That final voicemail thread is evocative. If this is the end, it lands well. But if this is part of a series, it teases potential closure or confrontation. Perhaps a final meeting, not for reconciliation, but understanding. Publishing thoughts, genre, corporate thriller, modern drama. Comparable titles, Succession, The Dropout, Bad Blood format options, serialized fiction, limited series script, or traditional novel. I coached Little League. I never missed a school. Play. I taught Charlie to ride a bike, helped Mia with her fractions. They never called me uncle because someone told them to, they just did. I've been trying to give you space, August said gently. But they ask about you every time they come over. They don't understand why you're gone. They think you're mad at them. God. I hadn't even thought of that. I'd been so focused on burning the bridges that led back to Harper, I didn't realize I was cutting off the ones that led to them, too. I'll come by, I said quietly. Just dinner, just with them. August nodded. Thank you. The house hadn't changed. A sprawling estate outside the city, tucked behind wrought iron gates and old trees that stood sentinel long before Harper or Carson were born. August met me at the door. His face was older now, lined not just with time, but with things he'd seen and stayed silent about. You look good, he said, studying me like a man trying to place a familiar painting in a new frame. I've been sleeping again, I offered. He smiled. That'll do it. Inside, the house smelled like roast chicken and vanilla candles. For a second, it felt like stepping into a memory. Photos still lined the mantel, me and Harper at last year's Delacroix Gala, Mia and Charlie in their Halloween costumes, August, with Carson and me flanking him. I didn't ask why the pictures were still up. Maybe he hadn't found the heart to take them down. Or maybe he knew they still meant something. The kids burst in. Charlie reached me first, arms locking around, my waist like a vice. You didn't disappear! I knelt to his level. No, buddy, I just got lost for a while. Mia, 12 going on 30, hung back, but she smiled when I ruffled her hair. I saved your keychain, she said, pulling it from a cord around her neck. The Westmere Grand logo caught the light. You still call it Uncle Rose's place? I asked. She nodded. Always will. Dinner was just us. No Harper, no Carson, just laughter, mashed potatoes, and Charlie flinging green beans across the table. For 2 hours, I forgot everything. The lawsuits, the betrayals. I let myself be human again. After, dessert. August walked me out to the porch. The air was cool, scented with pine and earth. She didn't know about this dinner, he said. I figured she'd have tried to show up. I know. He studied me. You were the best thing that ever happened to her. I wasn't enough. No, he said softly. You were too much. Too grounded. Too principled. She didn't know what to do with that. I stared out at the dark lawn, the trees whispering overhead. She still filing? He shook his head. Not yet. But she might. If she does, it won't be because she stopped caring. It'll be because she doesn't know how else to make peace with what she broke. I didn't answer. I wasn't angry anymore, not in that explosive way. But I wasn't sorry either. I just felt separate. Like we were two chapters that never should have overlapped. As I got in my car, August placed a hand on the roof. "You ever need a place," he said. "This door is still open. No strings. I appreciate that." The drive home was quiet. The kind of silence that doesn't ache, just sits beside you like an old friend. Later that night, I played her last voicemail. "Rowan, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I don't deserve a conversation. But I can't sleep. I keep thinking about that night on the Westmere balcony. You said this could be the beginning of everything. And I believed you. I lost track of what mattered. I thought power would feel like peace. It didn't. Please, just tell me you're okay." I deleted it. She didn't get to know how I was doing. But I was okay. Better than okay. And in time, the family I'd married into wouldn't call it a collapse. They'd call it what it was, a correction. A necessary one. I stood on the rooftop terrace of the rebranded Westmere Grand. Hands braced against the railing, the city shimmered in evening light. This same skyline I once believed I could conquer, back when I thought love and loyalty were enough. Back when I thought I had a seat at the table. Now the table was gone. I'd built the floor instead. Behind me, laughter rose from the rooftop. Bar. Stratosphere had done a soft relaunch, enough to mark the transition, not so much that it erased the past. That was the beauty of it. They didn't bulldoze what came before. They refined it. Marta approached, apron still on, tray balanced, on her hip. "Didn't think I'd see you up here," she said. "Figured you'd be in some corner office watching from afar. I come up here to remember what matters." She studied me, the way she used to when she brought espresso during late meetings. "You didn't just save this place," she said. "You gave us something better. I just gave it back to the people who knew what to do with it." She handed me a folded napkin. On it, a list of names, staff, hours, notes. "Miguel's idea," she said. "He said if you ever came back, we should let you know who stayed." I scanned the list. These weren't just names, they were people who mattered. People who stayed. People who trusted me even when I had nothing but silence and promises. "Thank you," I said. She nodded and disappeared into the crowd. I turned back to the skyline. Behind me, the new signage caught the last light of day. Stratosphere Westmere Grand. Clean, elegant. But no matter how many times they rebranded, some guests would always call it Uncle Rose's place. And I was okay with that. My phone buzzed. Photo from August. Mia holding the keychain. Same gold crest. Same gap-toothed smile. "She still calls it yours," the message read. "Thought you'd want to know." I stared at the image. The ache behind my ribs flared, then softened. I'd never had children. Harper and I had talked about it once, maybe twice, but those talks always ended in silence. Still, somehow, I'd left a mark. "Tell her the place is still hers too," I replied. There were things I didn't say to August, like how much it meant, that he never defended what they did, how he tried to hold the wreckage together, how he didn't have to invite me to dinner. But he did, and that mattered. As the evening turned silver, I took the elevator down. The lobby shimmered. The guests smiled, unaware of the war that had taken place in these walls. Good. Let them. Enjoy the peace. Let the storm live in my memory. Before leaving, I stepped into the old office, still nameless, still quiet. I placed the napkin on the desk, along with a key, to the storage unit holding my original designs for Westmere, Aspen, and New Orleans. And a note, for whoever comes next: build with care, not just with marble and light, but with people. No signature. Didn't need one. Outside, the city hummed. I walked to my car without urgency. No messages to send, no damage to undo, no loyalty left to mourn. Some people measure success in profits, others in headlines. Me? I measured it in what stayed standing after the fire. And tonight, as the lights of the Westmere glowed behind me, I knew I hadn't just survived betrayal. I'd risen through it. Not with rage, not with revenge, but with precision, with grace, with roots they never saw coming.